ex astris scientia, from the stars, knowledge. For over 1,000 years, these words have greeted cadets entering the most legendary training facility in the galaxy. Starfleet Academy, where farmers' sons become starship captains, where brilliant scientists learn to command, where young idealists discover what it truly means to boldly go where no one has gone before. James T. Kirk walked these grounds. So did Spock, Jean-Luc Picard, Catherine Janeway, and Benjamin Sisko. Every Starfleet officer who has ever explored strange new worlds, sought out new life and new civilizations, or defended the Federation from existential threats, started their journey here, in the shadow of the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. Today, we're exploring the complete history of Starfleet Academy, from its founding alongside the Federation itself, through centuries of producing the galaxy's finest officers, to its closure during the darkest period of galactic history, and finally to its dramatic reopening in the 32nd century, with the first new class of cadets in over 100 years. This is the story of where legends are made. Starfleet Academy was founded in 2161, the same year as the United Federation of Planets itself, after the Earth-Romulan War ended with the Battle of Charon in 2160. Representatives from United Earth, the Confederacy of Vulcan, the Andorian Empire, and the United Planets of Teller signed the Articles of Federation. Jonathan Archer, the human who had united these species through diplomacy and courage, became the Federation's first president. The new Federation needed a unified military force to explore the galaxy and defend against future threats. Starfleet, which had existed in various forms since Earth's early warp-capable days, was transformed into the Federation's exploratory, scientific, and defensive service, and Starfleet needed officers. San Francisco was selected as the site for both Starfleet headquarters and the Academy. Earth possessed the most extensive shipbuilding facilities after the Romulan War, and its environment was suitable for the various species, cold enough for Andorians, warm enough for Vulcans, and temperate for humans and Tellarites. The Academy was established at the Presidio, overlooking the Golden Gate Bridge and San Francisco Bay. The founding motto, ex astris scientia, from the stars, knowledge, captured the Federation's core philosophy, that exploration and learning, not conquest, should drive humanity's journey to the stars. The Academy was modeled after Earth's military academies, but adapted for a multi-species student body with a mission unlike any military institution in history. Cadets weren't being trained just for war. They were being prepared to explore the unknown, make first contact with alien civilizations, and represent Federation ideals across the galaxy. From its earliest days, the Academy was open to non-Federation citizens, though they required letters of recommendation from senior Starfleet officers. This openness would allow future officers like Nog, the first Ferengi in Starfleet to attend despite their species not being Federation members. Starfleet Academy became the premier service academy of the Federation, though non-commissioned officers attended a separate institution, the Starfleet Technical Services Academy on Mars, which offered specialized fast-track programs. The Academy curriculum was rigorous and comprehensive. Cadets studied astrophysics, exobiology, starship operations, diplomacy, combat tactics, engineering, and countless other subjects. The goal was to produce officers who could function in any role aboard a starship, from science officer to captain. Cadets were assigned dormitories, including the James T. Kirk building in later centuries. Living areas had to be kept inspection-ready at all times. Noise levels were regulated to allow for studying. Guests were permitted, but large gatherings were restricted to designated recreational facilities. Every cadet received a comm badge and was required to wear it while in uniform. They had access to the Academy communications system and computer terminals, though classified Starfleet documents remained restricted. The Academy also featured advanced training facilities, including holosuit simulators that provided safe opportunities to train under simulated field conditions. These simulators could recreate any scenario: first contact situations, shipboard emergencies, tactical combat, diplomatic negotiations, allowing cadets to experience and learn from situations that would be dangerous or impossible to practice in reality. One of the Academy's most famous training scenarios was the Kobayashi Maru, a no-win scenario designed to test how cadets handled certain death. The test wasn't about winning. It was about character, about how you faced the impossible. James T. Kirk famously became the only cadet to ever beat the test by reprogramming the simulation, arguing that he didn't believe in no-win scenarios. Cadets who excelled could participate in prestigious programs like Red Squad, an elite group of top performers who sometimes undertook special assignments. However, Red Squad's history included tragedy. In 2374, the entire squad was lost when their commandeered starship was destroyed by jem'hadar forces during the Dominion War. By the 23rd century, Starfleet Academy had become the most prestigious training institution in the quadrant. James T. Kirk attended the Academy in the 2250s, becoming the only cadet to beat the Kobayashi Maru. His legendary career began here, as did his friendship with Dr. Leonard McCoy and his relationship with instructor Gary Mitchell. Spock attended Starfleet Academy despite being accepted to the Vulcan Science Academy, a decision that strained his relationship with his father Sarek, but ultimately defined his character. Choosing Starfleet over the Science Academy demonstrated Spock's commitment to human values and Federation ideals over pure Vulcan logic. By the 24th century, the Academy had expanded significantly. Satellite campuses had been added, including advanced schools for medicine and engineering. The main campus grew with new dormitories, classrooms, and state-of-the-art facilities. Many of Starfleet's greatest officers served as Academy faculty. Spock himself returned to teach. Christopher Pike, Kirk's predecessor on the Enterprise, taught cadets. The Academy became a place where legends trained the next generation of legends. In 2368, Captain Jean-Luc Picard delivered the commencement address for the graduating class. The occasion was marred by tragedy when Cadet Joshua Albert died in a training accident shortly before commencement. The accident resulted from a band maneuver attempted by a group of cadets, including Cadet Wesley Crusher. The incident highlighted that even at the Academy, pride and ambition could lead to fatal consequences. The Dominion War tested the Academy like never before. Freshly graduated officers died in droves. Veterans fell alongside newcomers. The Academy accelerated its training programs, pushing cadets through faster to meet the desperate need for officers. The war years left scars on an entire generation of Starfleet personnel who graduated into a galaxy at war. But the Academy recovered. It continued its mission, training explorers and scientists, even as it prepared officers for potential conflict. The balance between Starfleet's exploratory mission and its defensive responsibilities was delicate, and the Academy worked to maintain both. Then came 3069, and everything changed. The burn was a galaxy-wide catastrophe, unlike anything in recorded history. In a single moment, most dilithium in the Milky Way galaxy became inert. Warp drives across known space exploded simultaneously. Thousands of ships were destroyed. Billions died. The Federation, which had relied on warp travel to connect its member worlds, was shattered overnight. Without the ability to travel faster than light, the vast interstellar civilization that had endured for over a millennium fragmented. Worlds that had been days apart were now separated by decades or centuries of travel. Member worlds withdrew from the Federation, choosing isolationism over cooperation. The organization that had once encompassed thousands of species and planets was reduced to a fraction of its former size. Starfleet, once the most powerful exploratory and defensive force in the galaxy, was crippled. Starfleet Academy, which had trained officers continuously since 2161, faced an impossible reality. There was no longer a Federation to serve. The student body dwindled as species left the Federation and recruits stopped coming. Resources became scarce. The mission to explore and defend seemed irrelevant in a galaxy where travel itself had become nearly impossible. By approximately 3069, Starfleet Academy closed its doors. For the first time in over 900 years, the grounds were empty. The motto Ex Astris Scientia, still hung above the entrance, but there were no cadets to read it. The dormitories were vacant, the simulators silent. The legacy of Kirk, Spock, Picard, and countless others seemed to have ended. For over a century, the Academy remained closed, a monument to a lost era, a reminder of what the Federation had been before the burn. But the story wasn't over. In 3189, the USS Discovery arrived from the past, carrying not just advanced technology, but something more important: hope. Captain Michael Burnham and her crew had traveled from the 23rd century, bringing with them the ideals and optimism of the Federation's golden age. They found a diminished Federation struggling to survive, but they also found people who still believed in what the Federation represented. Most crucially, they discovered the source of the burn and resolved the mystery that had haunted the galaxy for over a century. The burn wasn't an attack or a natural disaster. It was an accident caused by the emotional trauma of a young Kelpian named Suckle, whose unique connection to dilithium had catastrophic results when he experienced devastating loss. Understanding the burn's cause didn't undo the damage, but it removed the fear that it could happen again. And with that fear gone, rebuilding could begin. The Federation started reconnecting with former member worlds. New sources of dilithium were discovered. Starfleet began rebuilding its fleet using programmable matter and other 32nd century technologies. And someone made a crucial decision. It was time to reopen Starfleet Academy. In approximately 3194, 125 years after its closure, Starfleet Academy accepted its first new class of cadets in over a century. The reopening was more than symbolic. It was a statement that the Federation had a future, that exploration and learning mattered again, that there was a new generation ready to carry forward the ideals that had sustained the Federation for over 1,000 years. So what does Starfleet Academy represent? On the surface, it's a training institution, a place where cadets learn to operate starships, conduct scientific research, make first contact with alien species, and defend the Federation when necessary. It's where technical skills are taught and tactical knowledge is imparted. But the Academy is more than that. It's the embodiment of Federation ideals, ex astris scientia from the stars knowledge. This motto captures something fundamental about Star Trek's optimistic vision. Humanity went to the stars not to conquer, but to learn. The Academy exists to prepare officers for a mission of exploration, not domination. Every cadet who passes through the Academy's doors learns the same core lesson. Diversity is strength. Human, Vulcan, Andorian, Tellarite, Klingon, and hundreds of other species train together, learning that cooperation produces better results than conflict. The Federation's greatest achievements came from combining different perspectives, not enforcing uniformity. The Academy also teaches that principles matter more than expedience. The Kobayashi Maru isn't really about testing tactics, it's about testing character. How do you behave when facing the impossible? Do you maintain your ethics, or do you abandon them when things get hard? Throughout Star Trek's history, Academy training proved crucial in moments of crisis. Officers who learned diplomacy at the Academy negotiated peace treaties. Officers who studied alien biology saved entire species. Officers who trained in ethics made difficult moral choices that shaped galactic history. But the Academy has also produced its share of failures. Not every graduate lives up to Starfleet ideals. Some become corrupt. Some prioritize personal advancement over service. Some crack under pressure. The Academy can teach principles, but it can't guarantee every cadet will maintain them. The closure during the burn years represents the Academy's darkest moment, a recognition that in some circumstances, ideals aren't enough. When the galaxy fell apart, when travel became impossible, when the Federation itself seemed finished, keeping the Academy open would have been futile nostalgia. But the reopening in the 32nd century shows something equally important. Ideals don't die just because circumstances change. The Federation at its lowest point still believed that training new officers mattered, that education was worth investing in, that the future deserved preparation. These cadets aren't training for the Federation of Kirk or Picard or even Burnham. They're training for a Federation that doesn't fully exist yet, that must be rebuilt, that faces challenges their predecessors never imagined. They're inheriting both a legacy and a responsibility. The motto on the wall has been there for over 1,000 years, but its meaning must be reinterpreted for each generation. What does from the stars knowledge mean when the stars were inaccessible for over a century? What does Starfleet service mean when the organization you're serving is still finding its footing? These are the questions the new series explores. And they're questions worth asking, because they're really questions about purpose and meaning in times of uncertainty. Starfleet Academy endures because it represents something larger than itself. It's where ordinary beings become something more, not through genetic engineering or technological enhancement, but through education, training, and commitment to ideals bigger than individual survival. Kirk, Spock, Picard, Janeway, Sisko, and Burnham all started as cadets walking the same grounds, studying the same subjects, learning the same values. They became legends not because they were superhuman, but because they internalized the Academy's teachings and applied them in impossible circumstances. Now a new generation walks those grounds. They face different challenges in a different galaxy, but the mission remains the same. Explore strange new worlds, seek out new life and new civilizations, and boldly go where no one has gone before. The Academy gates are open again. The simulators are running. The cadets are training. And somewhere above the Golden Gate Bridge, the motto still shines. Ex Astris Scientia. From the stars, knowledge, and from knowledge, hope.